On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to cook a beef roast. You've got this. Welcome to the Test Kitchen. I'm so glad you joined us. It's an exciting day because it's our first episode, and I want to kind of talk a little bit about roasting in general before I get into the specifics of this recipe. It's a simple process. We overcomplicate it. It's really taking a quality piece of meat, putting it in a hot oven. That's about it. Really, if you start with quality, you're going to have success. We did all of the errors, so you don't have to, okay? So specifically, our roast recipe today is a garlic and rosemary studded strip roast. For more insight on this specific cut, let's head into the meat lab. Hey, Di.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hey, I've got some friends in the test kitchen. We're working on some recipes with roasting. Okay?
Nice.
I think I need to back up and pause for a minute because so many people have these questions about how do I select a roast? So I'm bringing in the expert.
All right, well, the easiest thing to do is to go and ask your butcher or look for the Certified Angus Beef logo at your local retail store.
Okay.
But if you really want to have your hand in it, you simply just go and look for that marbling that's found within that meat. If you have that marbling, that's giving you a better eating experience every time.
So you want the abundance of those white flecks within each cut. Okay,
Exactly.
I'm going to be using a strip roast, which is the one you're pointing to right here.
Yes.
What makes this cut special?
The greatest part about this roast, it's the exact same muscle as your rib. So you're going to have that same eating experience from your rib roast in your strip roast.
Okay.
Except the value is a lot better.
So I can get this at a lower price.
Yes.
Generally speaking, I might find the strip at a lower price.
Generally speaking, yes.
I'm in. I'm going to go back to Test Kitchen and use this.
Nice.
All right, let's get into the details of this recipe. It's so super simple. Garlic and rosemary studded strip roast. And I'm going to start like we often do with just salt and pepper on a rub. But this time we're going to do a pre-marinated. You like rosemary, you like garlic, you like your kitchen to smell wonderful during the holidays? So do we. What we'll do is put a generous rub on the outside. In this case, it's dried rosemary, kosher salt, and garlic that's been minced, okay? And that'll go on as the initial rub for this recipe. Because this is studded, it means that we're going to actually put cloves of garlic into this roast halfway through the cooking. I'll show you later how we do that. But for now, let's get it rubbed down into the refrigerator. Pretty simple, right? All over. And I'm telling you, simplicity is what roasting is all about. You put some flavor on it, you exalt the great flavor of beef by enhancing it. All right, and then we'll just put this in the refrigerator and we'll come visit this in just a little bit. Now that we've got this out of the refrigerator and we've imparted some of that garlic and dried rosemary into it, I just wipe off some off the exterior on the top and the fat part because I don't want that to burn when I put it in the oven. So let's get this thing ready for the oven. To do so, I'm going to get the slits in it ready to put the garlic cloves and the rosemary. Listen, this happens after the sear part so we don't burn them, but we need to get the slits in there. Here's how I do it. I hold a paring knife with about an inch left, an inch of the knife exposed, okay? And I just come into the roast with a cutting motion that's pretty simple, right? So you can see I can only go that far, only that deep into the roast, and I'm going to kind of spread these cuts, these slits, in even increments so that I end up with about, I don't know, 18 or 20 slits that'll accept a garlic clove and a sprig of rosemary. So this is just a majestic presentation. It just looks so amazing when you present this at the table. This is where I'm going to really add some of that salt and pepper that I talked about before. So salt and pepper, we'll put that on both sides of the roast. I don't think I did very well on the initial part of putting seasoning on the bottom. So let's make sure we really season all sides of our roast. Let's do that. Salt and pepper all the way around. Feel good about that. And then we're gonna put this in our roasting pan. I've got a great roasting pan that's got a rack to it, which I think is pretty important to keep it from not touching the bottom of the roasting pan. Fat side up, and then I'm gonna set my Roast Perfect app to, let's see, strip roast, right? And the weight, let's see, this is about a 4.5 pounder, 4 pounds probably. Yeah, 4 pounds. I weighed it. Come on, I know the weight of this thing. It's 4 pounds. Degree of doneness, what do you guys like? Medium, that sounds good. Do medium. An hour and 45 minutes is our total time. Let's get it in for the 15 minutes of roasting. So this is just the sear portion of the roasting, which is a blazing hot oven, 450 degrees for 15 minutes. All right, so we've come out of the oven after our initial sear, and now we're going to put the garlic and rosemary in it. You might have to wait just a couple minutes for the top to cool just a little bit so you can handle it, or you can put on some latex gloves if you'd like. That'll help with the temperature. All right, so to do it, I use a paring knife and put garlic cloves in each of those initial slits that we had, okay? So this garlic clove is one that was whole and I cut in half. So as simple as that. You take a half garlic clove and a sprig of rosemary and you put it into each one of those slits. Again, the paring knife is going to be helpful for this point. So I've washed this off and I've got it ready for now cooked. And I find those slits where they were, okay? You kind of have to look around for them, fish around for where those slits were, and then put the clove and the rosemary in it. So you'll start to learn your pattern and where they were. And let's start by shoving a garlic clove into each of these, okay? Simple, found that one. So I find the incisions that I had before and I just shove a garlic clove into that incision. And that's why I was kind of intentional about getting pretty deep with that incision, about 1 inch. And then again, the paring knife can be helpful with the rosemary. So I've got all the garlic in and I start putting the rosemary in. And this is where you can kind of see how attractive this roast can be. Don't worry about some of those garlic cloves will just keep wanting to pop up. Maybe you make an incision a little deeper to get that guy to stay down, and then put the rosemary. So by getting those incisions deep enough, I'm actually getting the garlic deep enough, the rosemary deep enough, so that really what happens is that garlic and rosemary just permeates this whole roast and just becomes delicious all the way throughout. All right, this is ready to go back in the oven. So I've followed my Roast Perfect app to drop the temperature to 325 in the oven. So we're gonna put this back in the oven for the rest of the roasting time. Let's do it. I like to just make sure that I'm accurate with my temperature by putting a thermometer into the side. So entering into the side of the roast is ideal. So we're looking good on our temperature, and now we make sure we let it rest. For this size roast, 15 minutes. So let's put this on our cutting board, and then we are going to show you how to carve a beef roast. Pretty simple. What a great presentation. Look how beautiful the exterior of this is with that rosemary and the garlic on the outside. I think it looks fantastic. And as we'll see as we slice it, super simple. We're going to slice about 1/4 inch slices. Typically we say against the grain, okay? You can see the rosemary and the garlic that just sits down in a few slices. You'll get that flavor all throughout this roast. And there's our beautiful strip roast with garlic and rosemary studded. It's fantastic. Let's recap. We started with a high quality roast, pre-seasoned it. We seared at 450 degrees. We studded it with great flavor, specifically garlic and rosemary, and then oven roasted it at 325 degrees to our target doneness, in this case to medium. Let it rest, and then slice. Thanks for joining us in the test kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, or share. And hey, we'll see you next time in the test kitchen.